What's up, everybody? Welcome to ThunderNet DFS. This is my DraftKings NASCAR picks for the Daytona 500. Before we get started with the video, if you guys can leave a like, that'd be awesome. And also, if you haven't yet subscribed, that'd be awesome as well. Just got the 200 subscribers, so thank you guys for that. But let's get started. Okay, so this race at Daytona, I feel like there's a huge advantage for people that know what they're doing. This is my favorite race by far. This in Talladega, I love these races. People don't understand how to construct lineups well, so there is a big advantage out there for people that know what they're doing. I don't think I've ever lost money in a Daytona or Talladega, so I will be putting a lot more money in than usual. I have a really good strategy, and a lot of people like to play the front and all that, but I'll get more into strategy in a little bit. Okay, so here's the qualifying order. You got Joey Logano at pole, and it's going to be really interesting because all these guys starting in the top 10, I feel like they're going to be a little chalky, which is absolutely insane because this race, there's going to be a lot of crashes. You're going to see maybe 10 to 15 cautions around there, lots of cautions. And then, of course, the big one. So yeah, Talladega and Daytona, there's so many crashes. So if you just play the back, you have a nice safe floor there, and you can have guys move up. I will not be playing anybody in the top 15. It's just not safe. If one of those guys crash in the top, if you play a guy in the top 15 and they crash, you're getting negative points. And if you have somebody starting, say, in the 30s and they crash, you're not really going negative there. So a lot more upside and also a lot safer to play the guys in the back rather than the guys in the front, because there are going to be so many cautions and crashes. And then, of course, the big one that takes out like 15 cars. It always happens every year. So excited for that. So let's talk a little bit more strategy. So place differential is key. You're going to want to play the guys in the back that say starts 35th, and then he ends up finishing 15th. That's 20 place differential points there. So you're getting those 20 points. You're getting the 15th place. And then say you play a guy starting 5th. He crashes out, which is very likely, and it finishes 35th. You're getting like minus 30 points right there. It's just not good to play anybody in the front because there are going to be so many crashes. It is possible to cash in a line with 2 crashes if you do play the guys in the back. I've had lines that have cashed with 2 guys crashing. It is due to the fact that they were in the back and they crashed later in the race and finished like late 20s. So that is possible to cash with guys crashing, which will most likely happen. And then if you guys have a lineup with somebody in the top 10 and they crash, you're automatically not going to cash because you're going negative big time. So a strategy here, just place differential is key. That's what you're going to want to focus on. And then second is avoid the top 15. Like I said, it is just not safe. One of the guys, 1 or 2, 3 of those guys could do good, but it's just not. It's going to be really hard finding the guy that's going to do good and even win the race because they're very well. Could be somebody in the top 15 that wins the race. It's likely for sure, but I just think the safer option is to avoid the top 15. And even if you do, somebody does have that guy that wins in the top 15, it's going to be almost really hard to pair him with 5 other guys that did not crash out. So I think the winning line, and it's the case like this for a lot of the times, the winning line is guys starting in the 20s and 30s. Maybe a guy in the top 20, between 15 and 20. But a lot of the times you don't see the winning lines with somebody starting in the top 10 or top 15. That's due to the fact that place differential is so key, and you get so many place differential points that even if you have a guy starting 5th and he wins the race, somebody starting 38th, finishing 15th can probably outscore him or get close to it. So, and then number 3, stack the guys in the back for a safer floor. Like I said, it's just nice and safe. You guys play somebody in like starting 38th, if he finishes like anywhere in the 20s, that's awesome. Like I said, it's nice and safe. So if he does crash and finishes 30th, it's not going to kill your lineups. You can still easily cash, especially with all the other crashes going on. And then 4, you're going to leave a lot of salary on the table. And I know this is going to be a big advantage to us because I know when people see salary on the table, they're going to want to pay up and get other drivers there. But um, I leave like 10,000, 12,000, 15,000 salary on the table sometimes, and it does work out very good. So don't be scared if you leave a couple thousand or more than that on the table. That's perfectly fine. You're gonna want to do that. And then Dominator points don't really matter. There's only 168 laps, so not many Dominator points available there. I can see somebody leading maybe 30 laps, but it does change a lot. Um, you're not going to have a really big Dominator, so I think Joe Logano being around 20% is absolutely foolish. And hopefully all these guys starting in the top 10 do garner some ownership here. I can see Denny Hamlin being over 20%. Truex being over 20%, Keselowski being over 20%, Logano being over 20%, Bowman being near 20%. Yeah, all these guys are going to be chalky, and I'm very glad it worked out this way because all the casuals are going to play like Keselowski, Hamlin. They're all good here. That's true, but they could crash, and if they crash, they burn all your lineups. And also some of the guys in the back can even outscore them, even if they do finish highly because of all that place differential. All right, so let's get into my price ranges. So in the high price range, I'm just gonna fade everybody up there. Um, there's nobody starting in the top 15 there, um, and I don't really think it's necessary. I do like the guys in the back a lot more, so I will not be playing anybody in the high price range. It's just how it worked out with qualifying getting canceled and going off cup points. So I do not like anybody in the high price range. The mid price range. You got Brennan Gaughan. He's starting 39th, 7,200. He is by far my favorite play. He's pretty decent here, actually. He's only 7,200, and all these prices they do not matter because you're gonna want to have a lot of salary on the table left, and you're going to. But yeah, Gaughan, Newman, Menard, Stenhouse, Jones. All these are pretty good plays. Gaughan has an average finish here of uh, 16 in his past 2 years racing here, so that's pretty good. Um, that's a 5 race sample there for Gaughan. So if he does finish 16th, that's a lot of place differential. I might even lock him in my lineups because he's so safe. I want to, you know what, I want to say lock because it's Daytona, but maybe go like very high on Gaughan. He's very safe play. And then Ryan Newman is not a bad play at all. He has an average finish of 11 in the past 5 races, so he does do very well here. I think he's going to be a little bit lowish owned, starting 18th here. I do think there's upside for a top 10. He likes racing here at Daytona, so Newman's very interesting. And if I were to play someone in the top 20, it would definitely be Newman. And then Paul Menard is also another one that's pretty interesting. Is the average finish of 14, so he's good here as well. So if he can avoid that wreck, he could probably get a top 10. And then Stenhouse, Recky Spinhouse, they like to call him because he does crash a lot. So I don't know if I really would want to play him here uh, at Daytona where there's a lot of crashing, but he does have an average finish of 18. So if he can avoid that wreck, he's a fine play. I wouldn't have too much of him though. And then Eric Jones starting 17th. He has an average finish of 17. He actually does pretty well here. He has 2 top 5s in the past 2 years, and he even has a win here, and he has 3 top 10s. So he does do very well here. It's just the fact that is he going to crash or not? So I will have some Eric Jones. I do think there's top 10 upside, top 5 upside there. And then in the lower price range, we got Ryan Preece, Ty Dillon, Austin Dillon, Chris Buescher. Ryan Preece is an absolute stud at these types of races like Daytona and Talladega. I don't know what it is, but he's very good. It seems like this is the only race he is good at. So in the past, he has 1 race here and he finished 8th, and then he also does very good at Talladega, which they're pretty much close to the same race. So I do expect Ryan Preece to do very good. He's one of my favorite plays as well. and then Ty Dillon, Austin Dillon, Chris Buescher, and DiBenedetto. Just mix and match these guys. Austin Dillon has a win here. He has 4 top 20s in the past 2 years, 5 races. So I think Austin Dillon's a fine play. Ty Dillon's not a bad play either. And then, yeah, I'll be spreading my exposure around to all these guys, but I do like Priest out of all of them. And then my punt range, we got Michael McDowell, Ross Chastain, Parker Kligerman, Corey LaJoie, Landon Castle, and then Bubba Wallace. This is the range where I'm going to live this week. Like I said, play the guys in the back, nice safe floor, and they very well could finish in the top 20. Checking last year's race, some notables: Corey LaJoie finished 18th, Parker Kligerman finished 15th, Ross Chastain finished 10th, Brendan Gaughan finished 23rd. So as you can see, the punt range is where it's at for sure. You're going to have some of these guys maybe get even a top 10, but for sure a lot of them are going to be in the top 20. So I'd mix and match this range, and then just hopefully try to get a lineup with 6 for 6 with no crashes. If you do get that lineup where you have nobody crashed, you will be looking very good. Last Daytona, I finished like 30th. I was very close to taking it down. I had a lineup with 6 for 6. And if you do get that lineup with nobody crashing, you're looking very good. So I'd mix and match. I wouldn't go too high on one driver that's not starting in the late 30s, just in case they do crash and you don't want to kill all your lineups. And even if one of these guys do crash in the punt range, you're gonna be fine. You can cash. I've cashed with 2 guys crashing that were in the punt range, so it's nice and safe. And if you are playing cash games, which I probably should this week because it's gonna be so easy, just play these guys in the punt range for a nice safe floor. But yeah, my favorite play in the punt range is gonna be McDowell, and then Klingerman's very close as well. I actually like the top 3 a lot, so I'll be having a lot of the top 3. McDowell has 2 top 5s in the past 2 years. Michael McDowell, so he's very good at this track. He has 4 top 20s in the past 2 years. So with the average finish of 11. So I do love McDowell. He loves this race. And then Chastain got a top 10 finish last Daytona. So yeah, I love this range a lot. I'm gonna be living in this range. Probably get to take 3 guys out of this range and a mix match with some guys in the 20s or the late teens. But yeah, I wouldn't go too high on either one of these guys. Maybe Chastain, Klingerman are all right, just because if they crash, they have a nice safe floor. And then also become a member of Patreon. I'll put the link in the description. You can receive the NASCAR article that Chris writes, NASCAR model with all the stats, including like practice times, history, all that, and then projections and rankings, and then a target sheet, and then driver exposure percentages, and then also like an example lineup, and then we have Slack chat, so you can ask any questions on Slack chat and stuff. I believe it's $8 a month for the NASCAR, so you get about 4 races, $8 a month. That's about $2 a race. So it's well worth your money. It's a very good deal. And then also we have MMA, PGA, baseball on there as well, and you can package them all up for only $20 a month. You can't get that deal anywhere else. But I'm very excited for this race. It's gonna be a good one. I love Daytona. I'm putting in extra money than usual. So hopefully it works out, and hopefully you guys do good. If you have any questions, you can follow me on Twitter, _DFS. Shoot me a DM. And make sure you give this video a like if you enjoyed it. And then also, if you haven't yet subscribed, that means a lot to me. And that's about it. And good luck, guys.